The most searched topic on Google nowadays is real estate market going to crash and are we in the housing bubble? Whether you already own a home or considering buying one in the near future or you are waiting for the right moment to sell, here we answer what is housing bubble, what causes it, and how it may affect you. And that is coming up right now, so stay tuned. Hello, this is Sonia, your local realtor with Remax Realty Specialist. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you have been here before, welcome back. Welcome to my channel where we love talking about real estate and all things in and about Greater Toronto area. And we would love to take you along the ride. So hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you get the notification every time there is a new video uploaded. So what exactly is housing bubble? A housing bubble happens when the price rises quickly at an unsustainable rate. Typically, a price growth rate that is in the high single digits is considered to be healthy and sustainable. Under healthy conditions, homeowners continue to earn equity over time. Sellers can still make a profit on resale, and buyers can still afford to get into the market. This type of price growth can usually be explained by economic factors such as employment boom and favorable interest rates. On the other hand, a housing bubble can happen as a result of non-organic growth. For example, if speculators were flooding the market, buying up homes to take advantage of rapid price growth with the intention of selling in near future for a hefty profit. When prices are deemed to have hit a high point, speculators list their properties for sale. This massive influx of listing coupled with stagnating demand causes price to plummet and result in a housing market crash. A housing bubble is a temporary event and prices eventually return to normal levels when demand rises again and home buying activities resumes. So what happens when the housing bubble bursts? During a housing bubble, homes become overvalued. And when the bubble bursts, prices fall. Homeowners who have no intention of selling are unlikely to feel the direct impact of the bursting bubble. However, these market conditions often indirectly impact other aspects of the economy. So to call homeowners who aren't selling free and clear would be misleading. The ripple effects of bursting house bubbles would likely touch most of us in one way or another. Home buyers who purchased a home during a housing bubble likely paid considerably more than it is worth. Properties bought by end users as a residence with no intention of being sold in the short term will eventually rebound closer to normal values and at some point return to positive growth as well. A housing bubble poses the biggest risk to home sellers. Those who purchased in the bubble but now find themselves forced to sell their home will come up short on resale. They bought the home at a price that exceeds what they can recoup, putting them in the red with no asset to show for it. For example, someone purchased at peak market price, but due to circumstances such as a job loss or the inability to carry the cost or any other reason, has no choice but to sell in this down market. The seller still owes money to their mortgage lender on a home that might no longer own. Now the question arises, are we in the housing bubble? The Canadian housing market took a surprising upward turn during the COVID-19 pandemic after coming to a grinding halt in mid-March. The slowdown was short-lived, and what followed through the remainder of 2020 and 2021 was a spike in demand for homes met by a shortage of supply. With 2021 almost to the finish, there appears to be no end in sight. There are a number of factors that indicate we are not experiencing a bubble caused by market speculators, contrary to some media reports. A recent online survey shows the majority of the home buyers are end users. Speculators tend to wait out hot market, buying when prices are down and selling when they are up again. The short-term investment opportunities they are generally looking for hard to find under current market conditions. Bully offers and bidding wars are commonplace, and we continue to see demand outpacing supply with the release of the monthly housing market data. These factors are generally inhospitable to speculators and investors. For a housing bubble to burst, there needs to be a steep incline in inventory and new listings and a decline in demand, neither of which is likely to happen anytime soon. So, is the housing market going to crash? It's highly unlikely. The Canadian housing market is still feeling the impacts of pent-up demand from 2017 when the government introduced the foreign buyer tax and the mortgage stress test as a means to cool the overheating market. These policies prompted many homebuyers to move to the sidelines, opting to wait and save with plans to re-engage in the housing market in a few years. Now, fast forward a few years to 2021, COVID hit a similar impact on the market, whereby many homebuyers delayed their purchase plan due to pandemic-related uncertainties. That pre-existing pent-up demand for home continued to swell, with Canadians subject to stay-at-home orders with nowhere to go and spend their hard-earned money. They collectively saved historically high sums, which was injected back into the housing market once consumer confidence returned. The spending came in the form of record high home sales, and for those who were unwilling to face the competitive resale market conditions, renovations to existing dwellings. In fact, Canadian real estate was said to be driving force behind the Canadian economy in 2020. Savings, low interest rates, and low inventory continued to put the pressure on the housing market. Now consider the housing needs to 1.2 million people who are expected to immigrate to Canada through 2023 as government's 2021 to 2023 immigration level plan. Given all this, it is highly unlikely that we will experience the influx of real estate listings needed for a housing market crash. And if we did see those listings suddenly come on stream, there should be plenty of buyers to absorb the demand. And one piece of advice to home buyers and sellers: do your due diligence. Challenging market conditions and a still present global pandemic have added some personal risk on the part of home buyers and sellers. It is important to remember that conditions vary across Canada and can be dramatically different from city to city and even from one neighborhood to another. Now more than ever, it is important to work with a trusted, experienced professional realtor who can guide you through the buying and selling process. And if you're looking for such realtor, I'm just an email or a call away. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to join me next week. Until then, stay safe and stay happy.